What else do you guys want to get out of Advanced Loan Officer Boot Camp? Like, are you here because you have to, or did you volunteer? If you're here because you have to, you don't have to answer. Mary Frank, give me one. Look at this. All these. I'll tell you one thing that you should learn. Some of the top producers in our company are on this call. So the people who do a lot of loans are always a student. You should remember that. They don't think they got it figured out. A lot of people do a bunch of loans for a little while. They think they got it all figured out, and they stop learning. Don't stop learning. Give me something, Mary.
Just some of the nuggets that you use in your language of every single day. You're a great listener, and your words always matter. And so, just some of those little key entrance sentences that you use, and then your follow up.
Okay. And my follow up, what's that mean?
The next sentence. The strategic words of Jimmy Reed.
Okay, that's kind of vague, but I'll do my best with that. You want to learn how? Okay, all right. Sweet. Let's see. Somebody else give me something that I don't know. Someone I don't know. Otherwise, Mark, did you give me anything yet?
No, not yet. What I would love to know is how to juggle so many realtor relationships. Like, we're being told sometimes have as many as we can, cast the net out super, super big and wide. And then some people are like, focus on 20 and only do 20. So I'm like, where's the balance? And yeah.
And Jimmy, I want to add one thing to Mark's comment. Right now, I think in all markets, but especially in our market, because I've ran the numbers, there's not a lot of whales. There's a whole bunch of medium-sized to minnow-sized fish. So if you want to do any volume, to Mark's point, you got to have a ton of relationships. So balancing that is crucial at least for our market right now.
Yeah, for now, not forever, right?
Not forever, but for now, for sure.
Oh, all right. I'll do my 5.5-200 for you. Anybody else got something? Michael Content, how long you been doing loans, Mike?
26 years.
Wow. You've been in the Corps?
I've been in the Corps. I was in the Corps 3 years.
You've been in next level coaching?
So, well, let me tell you my situation, and I'm unique. I just jumped out of an airplane with a parachute, and I landed in Bluffton, South Carolina. So my 26 years was in the Central Valley. Summit Funding has no presence here, and so I'm starting over.
Why'd you do that?
Long story.
Okay. So for everybody else, don't do that. You got it? Don't do that. During COVID, everybody thought they could fly around the world and go to Tennessee and do loans in Sacramento. You can't do loans in Sacramento from Tennessee, yo. It's a relationship business. You have to be highly active and highly visible. So you should have a piece of paper and a pen, or I'll get super frustrated during the whole call, like super frustrated. You make people write things down, not because they may never look at it again, but there's something magical that happens in your brain when you write things down. Wow. Anybody else got something they want to learn? So you want to learn how to recreate a business. I can tell you, what you need to do is consider yourself a mortgage loan apprentice and run the mortgage loan apprentice program, which I'm going to give you guys in a minute. Anybody else got something they want to learn out of Advanced Loan Officer Boot Camp? For real.
Go ahead, Carla. You have your hand up.
Well, mine is not so much advanced, but I would be on Michael's level, trying to get my business started. So, if you could cover that, that would be fantastic.
Good. Do you cover stuff like that in whatever other loan officer boot camp you have, Michelle?
I do not.
You do not. Okay. What kind of stuff do you cover in the other loan officer boot camp?
More of the technical stuff. We were told that we couldn't really touch sales because that was your world, but I would love to put some of that in too. That'd be great.
Yeah. Brandon, what are you doing? What's one thing you want to get out of this class, Brandon? I flew on an airplane in a hurricane with Brandon, so we have a tight bonded experience, and that's no lie, no exaggeration at all.
You bumped your head during that flight like me because my name is Braden, but it's okay. We'll
Braden, hey, my eyes aren't good.
All right. All good. I know I hit my head on that flight. That was crazy. Something I'm trying to learn. Yeah, I think kind of to what Mark was saying, I think I'm trying to go much wider right now. So just trying to manage that a little bit better. Kind of to Blake's point, not a ton of whales. So really got to go wide and try to manage a lot of that. So tactics for managing bigger amount of real estate agent.
Can you
Audience.
find one person that you can get 10 deals from, Blake?
There might be 5 of those in our entire county.
Can't a builder count?
Yeah, builder would count. I mean, if he could land a builder relationship potentially.
There
That
might
would
be
be-
5 of those in the whole county. Is that what you said?
From an agent standpoint, there might be 5 agents who could send you 10 buyer sides in a year in our
And where
entire
do you live?
county.
Where do you live?
San Joaquin County.
So in all of Stockton, there's only 5 that would do 10 deals a year.
That would do 10 buy sides a year. Yeah.
What's
year.
what's the sample that you looked at?
I just go to MMI and
No.
just,
Like how long in the past?
If I look at the last 7 months for people who've done 5 plus
Okay.
buy
So
sides.
there were 7 months in the history of the mortgage business, right?
Yeah, no, we're definitely talking right now. I mean, when the market picks up.
Yeah. I'm with you, but I just got to qualify it. So I got to qualify things when I hear stuff from people. So if you looked 7 months and you annualized it, yes. But if you went back 4 years, how many would you find?
Probably 30.
Okay, cool. So there's a bunch that have the potential that did it once and could do it again. Would you agree with that?
Yes.
And there's a bunch that will do it again in the future.
Yes.
And the future is probably sometime in the next 4 months. It'll more than double in number of units from how many units closed in December or January in your market. It'll more than double by the time that summer's over. Do you guys know that?
Yes.
So it'll more than double. So I told you guys at the loan officer retreat that you had to make it another how many weeks? Do you remember? I told you I had to make it another 6 weeks. I told you that March 15th, you would start to feel a lot of relief and that some of you will feel it sooner in terms of leads. How many have felt it sooner with terms of more leads? Raise your hand. You guys getting more leads than you used to get? You're not getting more leads, Blake?
Yeah, I raised my hand.
Oh, you did. I can't see everybody's
I
hands.
didn't
makes
keep
me
it up. I'm
nervous.
sorry. I just raised
Put it in front of your
Okay.
face when you raise your hands, you guys. You guys are all so zoomed in. All I see is your blackheads on your nose. You guys got to back up from your cameras a little bit. No, that's not funny yet, John. It's not funny yet. So you guys are like, you got to change your belief system for what I'm about to teach you because you're going to have a built-in reason why my stuff don't work. Okay? So my stuff works. I don't tell you anything that I don't do or I haven't done in my career. Never once will I tell you something to do that I didn't do that worked. Never once. I don't need the hype. I don't need to sound like I'm fancy, thought of something new and I got something going on that no one else ever got going on before. I don't need none of that. So if I tell you to do it, it's because I did it. So I'm going to start off with a simple business plan, and then I'm going to give you a simple week, and then we can talk about the conversation pieces and how to say stuff and all that stuff. And then we can take questions. So I want to start with the simple business plan. So the biggest question is, how do you go deeper? But there's not enough business to go deeper. But how do I go wider? People tell me not to go wider. People tell me to go wider. Deep is cake, wide is frosting. Do you get it? You got to have cake. You got to have frosting. Cake, there's a lot more cake than there is frosting. So the most important part is which? Deep or wide? Which one's most important?
Deep.
Thank you. Thank you. Deep is most important. So it's 5, 5, 200. 5, 5, 200. So I need you to have 5 realtors that you're super tight with that are super good realtors. 5 realtors that you are super tight with that are super good realtors. Okay? So yes, you have to choose who you're friends with, and you have to choose who you are not friends with. That's right. I just told you you can't be friends with someone that's a realtor simply because you get along well. You don't have time in your life for them. You have a kid, you have a wife, you got God, and you got a bank account. Or a husband, or whatever you got. So no, you don't get to hang out with a realtor who's easy to hang out with that sucks. And that's the mistake I see most of you make, honestly. And it makes you feel like you're doing your job when you are not doing your job. Now that stings a little for some of you, but it's the truth. I don't hang out with no realtors that aren't the best. If you look at my 5 realtors, I'll give you their names and you go look up their numbers, you'll know I'm not lying about what I do. Tim Collin, Tom Phillips, Rich Casno, Victoria Witham. Look them up. Look them up. They're all studs. All of them. They come to my house for dinner. I hang out with them. I play golf. I play basketball with them. So 5 realtors that are studs that you hang out with, you'll get 10 deals or more from each one of them in a normal year, Blake, okay? In a normal year. I haven't gotten 5 deals from each of them in the last 6 months. I haven't. So I agree with what you're saying, right? But I also know that they're a long time history of doing a lot of buyer side. Look, Blake's looking up the numbers right now.
I'm looking
Look
up the
up
numbers for
Victoria. Go ahead.
Suffolk
Look
County.
up Victoria. Tell me how many sides she did last year. Go ahead.
No,
So
I'm looking up all of Sacramento right now.
Oh, well, look up Victoria. They're going to be in the top, those people, okay? So 5 realtors that you do 10 deals a year or more with. How many deals a year is that, Mary?
I'm still just laughing that Tom Phillips is somebody that's working with one of my clients. And I was like, sweet, he does some business. Maybe I can land it. And then I looked at it and I was like, shit, he works with Jimmy Reed.
That's right. So back off, girl. Just kidding. So you can try. I'm really good when I want to be. You do what you want. 50 deals a year, you'll get at least, right, Mary? 5 realtors that you do 10 deals a year with or more. It's not easy to find that. It's going to take you a long time. You're going to have to work through realtors. You're going to have to dump some. You're going to have to put some in the lower shelf of your relationships. You're going to have to get rid of some friends that you have that are realtors right now so that you're forced to find new ones. So you got to have 5. You're pursuing 5 that you can close 10 deals a year with. Then you got to have 5 realtors that are acquaintances. So the 5 realtors that I hang out with the most are the ones I do the most business with. They're the ones I'm constantly inviting to Kings games. I'm constantly inviting over for barbecues. I'm constantly finding a way to go to a concert with me and Ann and them and their spouse. We go to concerts. We go to Kings games. We barbecue. We have a pool party. I coached basketball at OLA, Mary Frank, so that I could coach Tom Phillips' kid so that I could get Tom Phillips as my realtor. Now, y'all don't believe me, but I did because he's a stud. And he's a good guy, and I wanted him. And I love to coach basketball. So I got to make choices in my everyday life about who I put myself around as a loan officer. I have to. The same thing goes in reverse. If you choose to hang out with people who don't do business, guess what? You will do no business. Whoever you spend your time with is who you are. Whatever you think about is what you become. It's too hard to do deals right now. Well, then it's too hard to do deals. There's opportunity right now. Well, then there's opportunity. People don't believe that. They think that's some salesperson hype. It's not salesperson hype. It's the truth.
It's truth.
So you got 5 deep realtor relationships that you do 50 deals a year with. You got 5 less deep, but still friendships. I call them acquaintances that like the way you do business. You have a mutual respect for each other. And you do, let's say, on average, 4 deals a year with each one of those. That's another 20. Now you're at 70. How much do you make, Mary Frank, per deal?
4,000.
So 4,000 times 70 is 280. So you have to manage 10 relationships to make 280, Blake. It says in the Bible, 10 by 10. I think you can have 10 deep relationships. It's outside of your family. That's what I think the limit is. What do you think, Blake?
Sounds about right.
Anything more than that's pretty tough. If you're going to coach a football team, Blake, that's a part of your pie.
Yep.
So you better figure out a way to get deals from the football team.
Yep.
Ask me if I've done refinance for all the parents of the kids on the basketball team, Blake.
I'm sure you have.
I'm sure I have.
Yeah.
So if you're going to do that, you have to choose that as one of your 10. The football team's one of your 10. And you got to think about it that way. You can't do the 10 and the football team, Blake. You'll do 8 and the football team. You guys get it? How do you be in balance? This is how you be in balance, by realizing the limit. and then being picky about what you fill your time with. That's advanced loan officer thoughts. When loan officers first hit the ground running, they think they can be everything to everyone. And they can. For how long?
Not very long.
Not very long. And then they want to throw their cell phone in the pool. And it doesn't matter anymore because the money don't matter no more because they're so unhappy. And they burn relationships and they don't keep promises and they justify it in their mind because they've done so much for so many other people. Anybody else experience that? Yes. So stop it. It's not, you can't do it forever. Be more picky about who you hang out with. Be more effective. Be more efficient. I mean, or you can be Kobe Bryant, work out twice before the team gets there and twice after. I don't see any of y'all doing that. I don't know how many people can live the life he lived. You guys know what I'm talking about? The rookie said, I want to work out with you in the morning. They show up at 6 a.m. and he's sitting there with ice bags on his knees because he worked out from 4 to 5:30 already. Like, if you're going to do that, you wouldn't be on this call. You'd be teaching this call. So 5, 5, and 200. So you got 5 that you do 10 deals a year with. You got 5 that you do 4 or 5 deals a year with. And you got 2 to 400 is what I like to say. 2 to 400 that you have a sprinkler marketing campaign for. These are listing agents on any side you ever did. Any buyer's agent on any buy side you ever did. Plus anybody that you found that you want, like, so the way I would build my 200 is, you're supposed to have, I'm going to back up to my 200. I'm going to back up to my 200. You got to have 6 boutique offices that you meet every month, that you go see every week. I would settle for every other week, but you won't be as good as me. And there's a lot of loan officers better than me. I recommend you do every week. So you got to pick 6 boutique offices. If you're going into Keller Williams or Remaxes that are humongous or whatever Coldwell Banker that's humongous, stop it. Stop it. All those people go to seminars trained to hand out 3 cards and ask all 3 lenders for money. Now, do you think every realtor's that way? I can promise you they're not. So stop using that BS, that belief system, to justify you not doing no business. Stop going in those offices. Stop it. It changes the way you think. You feel defeated. I've never felt better at myself coming out of a Keller Williams office. I've always felt like a parasite. So find 6 boutique offices. 6 boutique offices. Go see them every week. Every week. The first week, drop off a loan program collateral. The second week, drop off an invitation to our monthly leveraged event. The third week, drop off food. The fourth week, I don't know, figure it out. You get to do whatever you want the fourth week. I gave you 3 out of 4. If you go 3 out of 4 times a month, it's probably better than what you're doing. Just do that over and over again. You drop off 12 loan flyers a year, 12 invitations to leverage events a year, 12 things of donuts or fruit a year. And if you just kept going, eventually one of them would like you. And if you had the whole office, that would be about 2 buyer sides a month times 6 offices. There'd be 12 buyer sides a month in there for you after about 9 months of doing it. Anybody closing more than 12 buyer sides right now? Raise your hand. Oh, I know, none of you. Not one of you. But you're not going into 6 offices, are you? Oh, that don't work, Jim. That don't work. You want to know where I learned that? You guys want to know? You can call him. His name's Ben Sweat. He's in Sacramento. He's now a loan officer. He used to be a wholesale rep for Bank of America. When we were brokers, he was a wholesale rep for Bank of America. He was a young kid, young. I was young, but he was young. And I was the branch manager. And so, the wholesale reps used to all come in once in a while and try to earn your business and help you put together deals back when we were brokers. And this wholesale rep, Ben, came in, and he knocked on my door. He said, hey, Jim, can I have a minute? And I'm like, yeah, what's up? Comes in, sits down. I'm all intimidating. He's like Mr. Polite. He says, hey, my name is Ben Sweat, and Bank of America has decided to enter wholesale, and I wanted to stop in and ask permission to call on your branch. Now, how many, Blake, of the other wholesale reps asked me for permission?
None.
None. So he came in respectfully, sat down, gave me honor. Are you paying attention? Asked me respectfully, gave me honor if I could have permission to come in to call on my loan officers. I said yes, but there's a couple rules. First rule is if their door's shut, don't knock. And don't stand in their doorway talking to them. Either ask them if they want to talk to you or move on. Don't linger. He said, I can do that. I said, great, then you have my permission. Then he said, can I ask you one more question? I said, yes. I'm not making any of this up. You call Ben Sweat and ask him. He said, what do I got to do to get business out of your branch? And I said, I'll tell you, but you won't do it. He said, I want to know, I want to know, I want to know. I said, okay, you got to show up every day, every week, on the same day, every week, around the same time, every week, for at least 9 months to a year before you stop coming. After 9 months, he had 80% of our business. You ask John Doble about it. You ask him about Ben Sweat. You think I'm making any of this crap up? I'm not.
You know, Jim, you're
No.
not, because I remember you guys saying in training, even the biggest, mightiest person will cave if you're consistent.
Yes. And John Doble's pretty mighty. He's pretty big. So you do that with boutique offices. 6 of them. You go in, you ask for the broker or the manager, you give them some honor, you ask for permission to call on their agents, you ask them what the rules are, ask him what he thinks is he or she thinks is the key to success, and then do it. Whatever he said or she said. Oh, we already have our own lenders, but you can call on them. Okay. If I was going to earn business, how would I earn it? Well, I don't think you can earn business. Okay. But if I was going to, how would I do it? Well, you'd have to show up every week. Okay. Bye. Then show up every week. You ain't doing nothing else. Y'all ain't busy. Don't even try to look at me like y'all too busy. I'm not having it. So go see 6 offices. Now, the reason I said that is I need you to come up with a list of 200 to 400 agents. Okay? And so 6 boutique offices times about 5, that would be about 30 of your 200 to 400. Plus your 40 realtor, that would also be 30 of your 40 realtor list. And then you have every buyer side you ever did, the ad agent, every listing agent you ever did. And then you look through the MMI or whatever that software is, and you pick people in your wheelhouse. Your wheelhouse may be different than my wheelhouse. People that you'll bond with easily. So like if you're brand new in an area and you're brand new to the business, you'd probably pick people kind of in the lower middle section of production to put on your 400. Because you might more easily communicate with them. And then, as you get more tenure in the business, you would change and go higher and higher up on the production report. That's one idea. It doesn't really matter. But you come up with 400. So on 400, you have to go out and spend some time at night going in and adding them on Facebook and Instagram and asking them to add you, right? I hate that stuff. Someone else does that stuff. So you go in there and add them to your social media. Then you send them on Friday. They all get an email from you. Program of the week, an underwriting guideline, like the FHA credit score requirements changing, whatever. And I like to send an underwriting guideline that can help them sell more houses. Very few words. No, you can't have mine. Make your own up. Stop asking me to do your job. Read the stupid thing that comes out from a net about the underwriting down under. Find a guideline change. Send it out to them. A guideline changes that can help you sell more houses by Jim Reed. Call me with questions or with leads every Friday to 400 agents. You're 5, and you're 400. Then every month, you email them, and you slide dial voicemail them an invitation to our leveraged event. So you email them an Eventbrite to reserve their spot for our national event where I pick a realtor to speak and teach, right? You don't even have to do nothing. We organize it for you at Next Level Coaching. We send you a list of your people that came so you can follow up with them. So you would send an Eventbrite. You would do a slide dial voicemail to all 400 voicemails inviting them to come. They think you personally invited them. Get a text, a Arch text software program. Text them all, remind them of it the day before and the day of. Get people there, and then the people who showed up that you invited, the next day, you call them and see if you can get a meeting with them to talk about what they learned and what you learned from watching the event. That's what you fill your day with when you ain't got enough loans. Did you look them all up yet, Blake?
So I was looking up some numbers. There's, in our county, people that did 8 deals last year. In the last 12 months, there's 7.
So do you know what you should do?
Go to other counties.
Get in your car or just sit there and don't do loans. Pick one.
No, I know. I just
Pick one, Blake. Get in your car or sit there and don't do loans. Which one do you want to pick?
We're gonna have to get in our car. Yeah.
Cool. What did I do when it got slow last time in 2008? What did I do? You've heard the story. What did I do? You don't remember?
I don't remember the story.
I'll refresh your memory. Every
Went on a
Wednesday
milk
morning,
route.
I got up at 4 a.m. and I drove to Bakersfield. And I called on Brian and Barnes homes. And then about 6 a.m., I got back in my car and drove home and got back home at 10 o'clock at night. Because they were still selling homes in Bakersfield because they were still affordable. And no one was selling homes in Sacramento for new homes. And the banks hadn't foreclosed yet on all those houses and put them back on the market at lower prices for me to do deals yet. So I didn't do it forever, did I?
No.
I did it for now, didn't I?
Yep.
Do you got to do it forever if you decide to do it, Blake?
Nope.
You just got to do it for now, don't you?
Yeah.
You just got to make a choice. If you make the choice that you're a victim and you just can't do a lot of business in your town, then so be it. I'm no victim, buddy. Never will be. I have been, but I never will be again. You either do or you do not. Right? Isn't that what you say in football? Don't tell me you let them football players run around telling you about it's too hot and stuff. I know you don't.
No.
Okay. Well, they either do or they do not. That's their choice, not mine. My stuff works. So you got how many deals can you get from them 200 to 400 agents? They probably do between 2 and 5 sides a year. The most you can ever really get on an ongoing basis from an agent is about half their buyers. So if they do 10 and you're in a really tight relationship with them, you can get about 5. Some of them will pay cash. Some of them will have a friend that's a lender. Some of them will have a bunch of money with Wells Fargo and you can't touch it. Okay? So you can get about half. So there's a bunch of agents out there doing 2 to 5 deals, and they trip across 1 to 3 deals a year that they can refer out. So of these 400 agents, there's how many buyer sides a year in these 400 agents, do you think? Anybody? I'm liking them on social media. I email them once a week. I slide dial and invite them to a leveraged event. The ones who show up, I call and talk to. I don't call them every week. I don't invite them. I'm not trying to go deep with them. I'm just sprinkler marketing to them. How many buyer sides are in there?
5 maybe a year.
500? The
5.
total buyer sides in the 400 realtor database. How many buyer sides are in there?
400 to 800.
Okay, he says 400 to 800. I'd say there's at least 400, maybe at least 600, right? There's 600 buyers in there. That's a lot of buyers. So it's worth spending some time and effort on that database. Would you agree? Oh, and you invite them all to your 2 client parties a year. If you're not doing 2 client parties a year, you are not listening. Cinco de Mayo, pictures with Santa. That's what I do. And I invite all my realtors, all 410. all my past clients, all my friends and family, all the businesses around, and they don't all come. But we get about 300 people in there, and we feed them some dark beer and some Mexican food, and we have some decorations, and we sit around and talk to them from 3 to 6 o'clock on Thursday night of the Cinco de Mayo week. I don't do it on Cinco de Mayo. I don't have it on the weekend. I don't have it late in the evening. I don't get drunk. I do it during business hours to about an hour and a half to 2 hours after business hours, and then I shut it down. So they all get invited. They can come hang out with me so I can socialize with them if they show up. But certainly they feel honored I invited them. So that's how I manage these 400 relationships. Now there's 500 to 600 firesides in there, Blake. How many could I expect to get if I really did everything I just said?
Half.
Woo! I wish, buddy, I'd be rich by now.
Quarter.
Man, I wish you were right. I love your optimism. 50? Could I get 50?
Yeah, you get 50.
Could I get 10%?
Yeah.
Okay, I can get 50. So I got 50 plus what? 420 plus 50, and then I have a database. You guys know who Carl White is?
Yes.
Carl White runs Mortgage Marketing Animals. He's become a friend of mine. He also runs a mortgage branch like mine, only his is bigger. So we compare each month our percentages of purchases and refis and cash out refis. Blake, do you know what he did last month for refi business? First of all, he does about 3 times as many loans as my branch. Probably twice. Twice as many loans as my branch. His branch does twice as many loans as my branch. My branch is pretty big.
I'm guessing he did a lot more refis than you did.
20% refi last month. He goes, there was only one rate and term, the rest were all cash outs. Stop thinking they won't do a cash out refi on their 2.9% rate loan, you guys. Your database has deals in it, and you stopped taking care of your database. So you have to call a letter a week. Everybody will get called twice a year. And you tell them, you invite them to your next leveraged event because you do twice a week, twice a year leveraged events. You tell them about your next client party, and you do either an annual review or a market watch update. In Next Level Coaching, we have the script for annual reviews. It's basically you talk to the client, you check in on them, what they've done to the house, make sure they're still in the right mortgage, see if they need something where you can refer one of your client, your professionals. There's another source of business. You should have a list of approved vendors, a roofer, a gutter guy, a lawn guy, a tree guy, a housekeeper, right? A contractor for adding on. You have a list of all your friends that do that. And then you can find people in your database that need them and refer each other. And then you'll get the business from the roofer and the lawn guy and the other, right? That's business to business. So that's 4 pillars of business I just taught you. It doesn't have to be a builder. It doesn't have to be a hospital. It's your own chamber, your little mini chamber of commerce. So you do your annual reviews, and they need a housekeeper. I've got a good housekeeper. They need a financial planner. I've got a good financial planner. They need a CPA. I've got a good CPA. You're not making the database calls. Now their kids are going to college, and they want to buy a condo in Nevada because all the kids in Sacramento go to UNR for some reason. I don't know why, but they all do. But they don't think I do loans in Nevada. Mary, I do loans in Nevada. But they don't know it. So I have to call them. You know on the loan app where it says the date of the loan app and it says how old are your kids? You know what I'm talking about? You know you could pull a report by the date of the loan app and then the section of how old their kids are and then sort by the ones that are 16 or 17? Guess what those ones are getting to go do? They're getting ready to go to college. You think you should call their parents and let them know you can do a kiddie condo, owner-occupied, FHA or conventional with 3% down and stop paying rent for 4, 5, 6, 7 years? I was in school for 7 years. You think there's business in that database, Cleo?
Yep.
Now, I taught you more than you all knew than like how long we've been on this call. 39 minutes. I gave you how many sources of business you ain't thought of in a while.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Wow. That's next level coaching. Get in next level coaching. If you're not in next level coaching, what's wrong with you? You sit around twice a week with other loan officers and talk about what to do to get business, how to do it, what to say, when to say it. You can't fix your business all in one call. It's a journey. It takes years. It takes decades. And then you forget it all and have to learn it all again. It's like golf. Slow down, the ball goes farther. How many times have I had to learn that? So there's tons of business in this plan. You got to have a realtor plan, which is 5-5-200. You got to have a database plan, which is call a letter a week with 2 client parties a year, and have your own chamber and do an annual review or a market watch call. So if you've got 1,000 people in your database and you divide it by 50, how many calls is that a week? It's 20. It's 20. It's 20 calls a week for every 1,000 people in your database. So if you have 500, it's 10. It's not that many calls, is it? And you'd call them twice a year. Is twice a year invasive or threatening or cheesy? Is twice a year over accommodating and offensive? Is it? It's not. I took everything they taught me in the core and I made it be not overbearing and offensive, because I wouldn't do it when I felt it was offensive. Make sense? Cool. So how do you get this list? How do you develop this list of 5-5-200? Well, I gave you one tactic already. So here's your business plan. So you got to have a list of 40 realtors, okay? You got to have it. If you don't have it, create a list of 40 realtors. In next level coaching, we have a format. Rebecca would give you the format. So you got to have a list of 40 realtors. You got to have a list of 40 realtors that you're chasing. In the 40 realtor list are the ones you already have, which is probably about 5 or 6 for most of you. Right? Anybody got more than 6? Didn't think so. So 5 or 6 realtors, plus you get another 6 times 5, another 30 realtors from your boutique list. Okay? And then you get to MMI and you pick some realtors that you want to work with. I looked through all the listing agents on the deals I did last 12 months and pick some that you want to work with by their numbers to come up with your 40. Okay? So now you got your 40 realtor list, and you're going to get a folder for the odd numbered and a folder. This is a folder. Hold on a minute. This is a folder right here. You're going to get a folder for your odd numbers of your 40 and a different folder. Mary Flores, you listening to me or you doing email, girl? You're listening to me. All right. So you get a folder. Like, I didn't want to give you all my 2 hours this morning. But if I decide to do it, I'm going to do it all the way. Can you feel me? So if you're going to decide to do it, you're going to decide to do it all the way. You get it? Otherwise, let's go home. I go to work so I can go home and hang out with my kids. I go to work so I can get some money and take my kids on vacation. What about you? Yes. So when we're at work, let's be at work. So 2 folders, an odd and an even. Get a piece of paper. 1 piece of paper, so you have 20 pieces of papers in each folder. 20 blank piece of paper in each folder. At the top of one of the piece of papers, you write the realtor's name, the first realtor's name, and then you make it look like this. No, I don't have it all typed up for you. You got to do it with a pen and a paper. You divide it into 4 quadrants. On the top left side, go through all your lead trackers and write any leads that realtor gave you. Write their names down. And what's going on with that lead? On the top right side, write pre-approvals. Write down any pre-approvals you have with that realtor and what's going on with them. On the bottom left side, write a sales tip. Write sales tip. And Google sales tip for realtors in the morning on Monday. And look at one. And find one you think's cool and write it down. And then on the bottom right corner, write monthly leveraged event. And write the date and time of our next realtor event. It's the 3rd Tuesday of the month. Is Rebecca on here? Am I right, Rebecca? 3rd Tuesday?
Yes, that's right.
3rd Tuesday. It's the 3rd Tuesday of the month. We decide to have it the same time all the time, and that's when we have them. And then a flyer goes out about 3 weeks beforehand to you that tells you the topic, so you can tell them the topic. So now, on Monday, when it comes time to call your 40 realtors, you only got to call how many? 20.
20.
20. Call the odds one week, the evens the next. Now, is that invasive to call a realtor twice a month? Is that cheesy? Does that make you feel uncomfortable? Now, when you call them and you give them an update on their leads, an update on their pre-approvals, you give them a sales tip, and you invite them to something, does that feel like it's cheesy or intrusive? Does that make it easier? I can't make it any easier for you. We used to tell you, call them, ask them if they did an open house, and ask them for leads, and none of you would do it, and I don't blame you. But I just made it better, didn't I? If you're not willing to call a realtor twice a month that you're pursuing, hit the road, Jack. Come back when rates dip again. You can do refis for your friends and family. You know I'm right, Jason. So, we got our 40 realtor list. That's what we do on Monday. On Tuesday, you got to call all your deals. You call the buyer's agent first and give them the update. Why buyer's agent first? Because if they find it out from someone else, then you stink. You got it? Who of the 3 are the most important of the transaction? The buyer's agent, the listing agent, or the buyer? Who's the most important, Blake?
Buyer's agent.
Yes. So who do we call first?
Buyer's agent.
Like for me, my dad, my mom, I told my dad bad news first. Because if he heard it beforehand, without before from me, it was way worse. He got a big voice. So I call the buyer's agent first. I tell him the update. Then I call the buyer. And then I call the listing agent. Now, when I'm talking to the buyer's agent, I say, hey, I'm going to call the buyer next. And then I'm going to call the listing agent. You cool with that? I say it every time. Because that's honor. I'm giving them honor. I let them feel like they're in control. I'm really in control, you guys. Just so we're all clear. But I make them feel like they're in control. If it's okay with you, I'll call the buyer next. Is it okay with you? And then I'll call the listing agent and give an update so you don't have to unless you want to. Would you like me to do it for you? That's how I say it. Oh, please, 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 please. Yes, please, please. You gotta blow my nose. Give me a second. Oh, boy. You hear me? Told him do homework. He's sneaking in the video game just like all y'all. So we do Tuesdays. We do updates. We do it in that order. I don't like super detailed updates. What they care about is it on time? Yes or no? Is the appraisal in? Yes or no? Is value in? Yes or no? Are there problems? Yes or no? That's all you got to say. We're on time. Appraisal's in. We're at value. I don't see any problems. Okay. If there's a problem, here's the problem. Here's what we're going to do. I got it. Don't worry about it. That doesn't mean I said I wasn't going to ask for more time. I might have to ask for more time. Here's the problem. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to need 3 more days. I've got it. It's no problem. I'll update everybody. When they get mad at you, when the buyer's agent gets mad at you about something, do you know why they're mad at you? Anybody?
Because they got
They wanna get
surprised. You didn't talk to them.
No, because they have to tell the listing agent, and the listing agent's going to yell at them. That's why they're mad at you. So all you got to do is say, I'll take care of the listing agent. You call the buyer's agent, you tell them the problem, you tell them much more time, you say, if it's okay with you, I'd like to call the listing agent next and let them know what I need. I'll take responsibility. You will? Yeah. They're going to call me anyway. Might as well be first. Right? Do that. Makes Tuesday updates way easier. Now, the whole goal of my Tuesday update is what? To meet the listing agent in person. That's the whole purpose of Tuesday updates. There's 2 purposes. 2. The first purpose is a time management technique to eliminate inbound calls and interruptions. Todd and I invented Tuesday updates, y'all. I'm telling you, it didn't come from a business opportunity. It came because we were trying to be more effective and efficient. We created them so we could do more loans and talk to less people, or talk to people less often. That's why we did it. Tuesday updates started because there'd be agents on the listing side that would say, hey, can I start sending you business? And also we went, oh, yeah, sure. And then we realized that we could get agents from the listing side. You know how we first did Tuesday updates? You guys want to hear a stupid story? You want to hear how dumb me and Todd are? This is back when this was like dot matrix credit reports and like type 1003s, okay? Point had just came out. DU was not out yet. So we went and got a bunch of 800 number voicemail boxes. 800 number was an extension, and we would assign one to each transaction, and we would call and record the voicemail on Tuesdays and send an email out to everybody. Said, if you want an update, call and listen to the voicemail. How stupid is that? It didn't work very well, just so you know. So then we started, oh my God, why don't we just call everybody? Oh, duh. And we just started calling everybody. So Tuesday updates, the whole purpose is meet the listing agent. That's the whole purpose now. Meet the listing agent. So if they say, wow, you guys are amazing, dude, here's what you say. You know what? Your name came up this morning in my daily team meeting. All my team loves the way you do business. They told me I have to call you and try to meet with you. Do you want to go to lunch with all of us? Try taking your loan partners to lunch with your realtor. It's magical. Especially if they bring their assistant. And you all go, you will get their business. But you're going to meet them. If they don't ever give you a compliment and it's not easy to set that appointment, then deliver something. Get in your car, get a copy of the approval, use your little Sharpie, and what's that called? What's it called when you do that? The government calls what? When they black out lines of a document, what's it called?
Redact.
Redact.
Redacted.
It's a very redact. That means edit. That means censor is what it really means. Redact. Redact the parts you got to on it and go deliver it. This is not a pre-qual. This is a pre-approval. It has a chums number on it from our underwriter. It's signed at the bottom by our underwriter. This is a real pre-approval. I just want to make sure you had it so your seller could rest easy at night. I know when I sold a house, I was super nervous whether the borrower could really qualify. So I wanted to hand deliver this loan approval to you so you could get your seller to rest at ease. I've done that a million times. Stop by and see them. If you didn't see them during the whole meeting and they won't meet with you, stop by afterwards and deliver a little card that said how awesome it was and a $1 scratcher to their desk. You guys know what a title rep is? You ever wonder what title reps do and why they get paid? Like to kind of just bing around all over the place and kind of like delivering that stuff and like smile a lot and like give little cards and give little gifts and like I'm not really sure what they do. You guys with me?
Mhm.
That's your job. You have to do that. You're the title rep and the title officer. You're both. You got to do both. You got to think, you got to do both. You got to be highly active and highly visible, and you got to be really good at reading a deal. And for that, you get $5,000 alone. So I'm not going to feel sorry for you. They don't get $5,000 alone for being a title rep. I guarantee you that. So you get to do both jobs, right? Sweet. So on Wednesdays, you call all your pre-approvals. I don't know why they switched that. I actually call my pre-approvals on Thursdays, and I call my database on Wednesdays. So I call my database on Wednesdays. I call a letter a week, and I do a call about either annual review, which you can get the script if you're in Next Level Coaching, or I'll give a Market Watch call. Hey, I'm calling you because a lot of my past clients are calling me. They're asking me what's happening with rates. They see it in the news every night, and they want to know what's going on with rates. So I thought I would call you and see if you have any questions about what's going on in the market and what's going on with rates. That's all you say. Well, what is going on? I'm glad you asked. Rates have gone up to 7.5, back down to like 5 3/4, and then back up to like 6.5. It's ping-ponging all over the place. So it's uncertain what will happen in the next 6 months. But the truth is, home values didn't get hit that hard. They got hit hard for a minute, and now they've leveled off. And the housing market is back to where listings are getting multiple offers. Now, is that a lie?
No.
It's not a lie, is it? Do you think they know it? Do you think they know it?
They don't.
They don't. Do you think that they were thinking about selling and decided not to, some of them?
Yeah.
Do you think that they could sell and get their number and just don't know it? Do you think if you found one of those and gave it to your agent, they might be more loyal?
Oh, yeah.
So stop waiting for it to fall in your lap and make the call. Now, if you don't like that one, you do an annual review. What have you done to the house? What do you want to do to the house? Are you happy with your and refer him one of yours? I'll have Cleo call you. He's the best roofer I know. He did 2 of my roofs. We had 0 problems with it. I actually shopped around both times, and Cleo, he wasn't the lowest, but he was close to the lowest, and he was the best. I'll have him call you. That's how you refer somebody. That's how I want to be referred. I call Cleo. Cleo, you got to call Lacey. She needs a new roof. I told her you would call her by the end of the day tomorrow. Are you able to call her by the end of the day tomorrow?
I'm on it.
Cool. I call back Lacey. I just got the phone with Cleo. He's going to call you by the end of the day tomorrow. I'm the extra step rep. Write it down. I'm the extra step rep. Do one more step than what you normally do. Go one more step of follow-up. Be the extra step rep. The other way you could do an extra step is after I got off to Cleo, I do a joint email. An email to Cleo, an email to Lacey. Hey, Lacey, I just want to let you know I got off the phone with Cleo. He's going to call you by the end of the day tomorrow. I wanted to summarize so you knew what was going to happen. Also included on this email is Cleo's email in case you guys want to correspond this way. It was great talking to you, Lacey. If you ever need me for a loan, don't forget me. And don't forget I need your referrals. Bye. Extra step rep. Now, will one time make a difference in your career? Probably not.
No.
But if you did it every time, on every communication, would it make a difference? For sure. For sure, right? Okay, so that's Wednesday. So Thursday, we got to call our pre-approvals. Now, how many of you are not calling your pre-approvals? Be honest. You know you're not. I know you're not. So when it comes to calling your pre-approvals, here's what you have to do. You have to answer the question, why buy now? I play this game with my coaches and I say, what's the purpose of Greatness Tracker. Who wants to play? Cleo, you'll play. If you don't mind if you get the questions wrong, you don't get all embarrassed.
I don't care.
Cleo, what's the purpose of Greatness Tracker?
To measure and see where your business is coming from.
Cool. So you track your sales activity, and the purpose of that sales activity is to create relationships.
Correct.
You create relationships by seeing people in person, by eating food with people, by calling people, by sending people thank you notes. That's how you create relationship, isn't it?
Mail, call, visit. That's what I learned.
Yes. So we work on relationships through our Greatness Tracker, and the purpose of the relationships with referral partners is to get a
Appointment.
lead.
Lead.
We want relationships so we can get some leads. Now, once we have a lead, what's the purpose of a lead? What are we supposed to do with a lead?
Take great care of it, get paid.
Okay, we're supposed to set an appointment face to face. So when I call a lead, it sounds like this. Hey, Cleo, it's Jim Reed. Do you have a minute?
Yep.
Cleo, I'm about to walk into a meeting, but I got your name and number from Blake Eagle. Blake told me that you needed to get pre-approved. So I wanted to go over the process with you and see if you have any questions for me before I go into my appointment. Is that okay?
Sure.
Pause. Am I really going into an appointment?
Nope.
Probably not. Maybe. For me, probably so. For you, maybe not. So I say, here's the process. If it's okay with you, Cleo, I'm going to call you back tomorrow morning, or I'm going to call you back at 2 o'clock if you don't have a loan partner, or if you have a loan partner, I'm going to call you. I'm going to have Rebecca call you. Rebecca is going to gather your information for the loan application. She's going to give you, you're going to need a pen and paper when she calls, because she's going to give you a list of what to send in for documentation, and she's going to set a time for us to meet in person or by video. At that meeting, Cleo, we're going to go over an education process to explain all the loan programs that you qualify for and show you payments and cash to close so that you can pick the one that's best for you. And when you leave that meeting, you'll be pre-approved, and you'll be able to have a pre-approval letter that you can go make offers with. So is it okay if I have Rebecca start the process?
Yeah.
Now, any questions on the process?
Nope.
Any questions about real estate or loans that you want to ask right now? Otherwise, I'm going to take care of all those at one time during the meeting.
Not now. I'll wait.
Are you looking to make an offer on a house tonight?
Not yet.
Okay. So you don't have a house that you're making an offer on today or tomorrow?
Nah.
Because if you do, I need to handle things a little bit different.
Okay.
Okay, cool. So Rebecca will call you. Click! Because all I want is to meet with them. Because if I meet with him, he will love me. There's no relationship until we meet. And if I meet with him, his loan will go smoothly.
Yep.
Because I'll have analyzed everything at one time. And he will love me in the beginning, and he'll love me during, and he'll love me at the end. If I change my process for him because he's a pain in the butt, he won't respect me, he'll criticize me, and he'll tell everybody I suck. Now, who has lived through that? Stop doing it that way. If Cleo won't meet with me, Cleo's not my client. Of 10 leads, you'll close 2 or 3 transactions, which means 6 or 7 didn't choose you. And none of you beat that number. I don't care what you think. So stop trying to be everything to everybody. That's my biggest advice. We are a high-end lender. We meet our clients in person. We do a professional presentation. We hold their hand on Tuesdays. We close on time. We keep our promises. You got to treat it that way. So now you got this pre-approval. They're pre-approved with you, and you got to call them every Thursday and answer the question, why buy now? So why should you buy right now? So here's what I think you should do. You get a piece of paper and you draw a line down the middle. On one side, if they rent, you write tax savings. What's the tax savings of being a renter? Oh, I know. 0. Forced savings. That's the amount that goes to principal of your payment. How much goes to principal of rent? Oh, wait, I know. 0. Appreciation. Average appreciation is 300,000 or 3% in Sacramento. Average sales price is 600,000. So 3% of 600,000 is 18 grand a year. That's about 1,300 a month in appreciation. How much appreciation is there in rent? Oh, I know, 0. And I write them all down on the page, just like that. And then I look at their loan and I open the amortization schedule and I add up all the interest and all the property tax. I add that together for the month. Okay? You paying attention?
Yep.
I'm not going to create a sheet for you or a video. I'm doing it for you right now. So all the interest on the loan in that month, all the property tax on that loan in the month, and the mortgage insurance right now. Add it together. That's probably around 2 grand for the average deal. $2,000. What's your federal tax rate?
38%.
Cool, let's go 25 because there's a standard deduction that means you won't get to take 100% of this benefit. So let's do 25%. That's $500 a month that you'll pay less taxes. Do you guys see it? Okay. Now, how much went to principal? Probably about $350. Let's say $250. $250 of your payment pays down your mortgage. I call that forced savings. It's my favorite kind of savings because it's hard to get to. You know that savings at the Golden One where you can just go pull it out with an ATM card? I don't like that kind of savings. I tend to burn through that one. But the forced savings in my 401k in my house, it's hard to get to. It's easy for me to hold on to that for my retirement. Right? Is everybody worried about retirement? Am I the only one worried about retirement? I'm worried about retirement. Do you think my clients are worried about retirement? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes.
Do you think the loan officer on the phone's talking to them about their retirement?
Nope.
No.
No. So $250 is for savings. And then, you can Google this at home, or I actually did it for you. And here's a handout of the average appreciation in Sacramento County for the last 88 years. It's 3%. So you're buying a house for $500,000. 3% is 15 grand a year. Let's round it down to 1,000 a month. Your house on average is going up 1,000 a month. Now, sometimes it'll go down and sometimes it'll go up 5 grand in a month. But on average, over 88 years, it's gone up $1,000 a month. So that's $1,750 a month better than renting for wealth building. That's why you buy now. And did you know that if you bought a house in California and you held on to it for at least 10 years, that you've never gotten hurt? Did you know that? Like, if you bought at the peak of all peaks, 10 years later, it was the same or higher every single 10-year period. So tell me again, why are you looking at buying a house? How long do you think you're going to stay in it?
3 to
Marry
5.
the house, date the mortgage. Marry the house, date the mortgage. If rates go down, you'll refi and your payment will go down.
Divorce the rent.
Yeah. Date the mortgage is what I said, but okay.
Date the rate.
Yes, date the mortgage. So now you go over this piece of paper with them. You make a piece of paper for each one of your pre-approvals, Blake. Okay? Unique to their situation with your team, they can do it. Once you teach them how to do it, they can do it. And then you take a picture of it, Blake, and you text it to them on your agent, your buyer on Thursday. And you say, call me to go over this. It says their name. It says, why buy now? It has the zeros down the side and this down the other side and a big circle around the 1750. And you text it to your pre-approvals and say, call me to go over this. And then when they call you and go over it, you hang up and you text the same picture to the agent. And you say, call me to go over this. And the agent calls you. He says, I just want to let you know, I just went over this with John Tober to try to get him to make more offers. I showed him the advantages to buying a house. And I want you to know I'll start doing it with every one of your clients that you refer me. So I can help them get off their butts and start making some offers. Is that an extra step, Rep?
Yep.
Would that get you more business? I think it would, Blake.
Absolutely.
It don't have to be fancy, does it? It don't have to be in our CRM, does it?
Nope.
What happens is y'all get into the CRM, it gets too confusing for you, so you do nothing. What happens for me when that happens is I grab a piece of paper and a pen and I do it like a kindergartner, and then people get it. So that's what you do on Thursdays this week. You got to stay in touch with your pre-approvals. They came in, they met with you, they gave you all their stuff, and now they're scared to buy. And you need to answer the question, why buy now? The purpose of a pre-approval is to make an offer. The purpose of an offer is a escrow. The purpose of an escrow is a paycheck. You got to go step by step through the process with the client to get them to take the next step. The next step. You guys want to do all the steps in one little presentation and then not talk to them anymore and wait for a contract. And don't tell me you don't, because I know you do. Stop it. Goodness. Then Friday, it's catch-up day. We call it VIP day. Call your most important people. But all the lists you were supposed to call during the week that you didn't finish them on Friday. How about that? You know how I know none of my coaches do VIPs, Blake?
Oh.
They don't call me. Makes me laugh. Not really. Like, I would think I'd be on their VIP list. What do you think, Blake?
That would make sense.
Like, if you were my boss, Blake, and you told me to do a VIP list, I would call you. Would you? I don't know if you would.
Not consistently. No.
I don't think you work that way, but I think you should work that way.
Yeah.
I think
Jim.
people. Yes.
Hey, Jim, there's a lot of Californians moving to Texas. Do you know anybody moving here who needs help with a loan?
I do loans in Texas too, buddy. Sorry about that. Cool.
It's
So,
never about
then,
me.
Now, on your 40 realtor list, I want you to take on Saturday mornings, I want to take you the first 10 and plug it into your Outlook with their, like, a recurring event Saturday morning at 8:30. It's the first Saturday morning, text 10 realtors. And then in the notes sections as the first 10 realtors on your realtor list and their cell phone numbers. So from your phone, you can easily do one button pushing and text 10 realtors every Saturday morning. The first 10 on your 40 list is the first Saturday. The second 10 on your 40 list is the second Saturday. The third 10 on your 40 list is the third Saturday. And the fourth 10 on your 40 list is the fourth Saturday. So Saturday morning, you text 10 realtors and tell them that you're working today. Last week, someone came up with the 2 things you need to know. First one is Rudy Tooty Fresh and Fruity is back at IHOP. Number 2 is I'm working this weekend and I can answer all your loan questions. Got a tremendous response. But you know what bugged me about it, Blake? I shared it with all my loan officers that work for me. So they all text all their realtors and they all love and high five about their responses. And then they won't text their realtors again for 6 months. Because what they should have done is text the same text for 4 weeks in a row to 10 at a time.
Right.
And then come up with a different text and done that one for 4 weeks in a row. You don't have to come up with 12 different texts in a year. And they only get 1 text a month plus 2 calls, Blake. Is that intrusive?
Nope.
I think it's the minimum. So my system is built thoughtfully, isn't it? It's so that you can recur, repeat without feeling like a cheese ball. So just do it. Next thing you need to do is you need to join 2 organizations. This is for the people who move to new areas or are new in the business. Join the Women's Council of Realtors, join the Chamber of Commerce, join the Realtist group, join the Latino Chamber of Commerce, join the whatever. Join 2 of them. Be the secretary, write this down, or the secretary's assistant. Don't just join the group and go to the meetings. Do you know what the secretary gets to do each month?
Gets to see everybody's names that belongs to the organization.
No, they get to call everybody and remind them of the meeting. Guess whose job that is, Mike?
Secretaries.
Now
Or
it's
the
yours.
secretary's assistant.
There you go. Now you get to call everybody every month and to invite them to the meeting and say, see you there. That way, when you see them there, you can shake their hand and get to know them. Then you should qualify the list, Mike. Use a software program and make sure you're being friends with the ones that you should be friends with and not being friends with the ones you shouldn't.
Right.
Right. That's what you got to do. You should probably do 4 of those.
Yeah.
I'm not kidding.
Yeah,
Dude,
no,
I'm
I
not
agree.
kidding. If you don't, you won't make it. So, I just gave you a lot. I need some questions. And I got to get a tissue again. Give me a second. Put your phone over here. Question. Mary, go.
You have a new client you want to send out. Do you send it to the person, like, do you send it to Victoria, Tom, or the new agent that you've only gotten 2 leads from?
I never send it to a new agent ever. That's a waste. That's like, I don't know why, but they don't respect you when you do it. They don't feel obligated. I've made the mistake in the past thinking that it'd be the obligation close, but it doesn't seem to work.
Yeah, I feel like I've done it twice and it hasn't worked, so I should have just known the answer, but thank you.
Yeah, it's never worked. It don't work. They think they've got you by the neck. That almost slipped out the wrong way. Yeah, so you got to reward people who are loyal to you. If you were a realtor and if I was a realtor, Mary, and I had given you 10 closings this year and I found out that you gave John a deal, and you hadn't done no closings with him yet, and I found out about it, which I know I probably wouldn't, but if I did, I'd fire your ass.
Yeah.
In 2 seconds. Not to mention, my experience has been at least a few of the times that agent turned him over to a different lender after a while. Shocking to me. Yeah, don't do that. Good question. No other questions? All the stuff I gave you?
So the
Yes.
the list, the 2020 folders.
Yeah.
If you've got somebody in contract, you're going to call them on Tuesday. Do you still kind of do the Monday call for the rest of the pre-quals? Because they're probably going to ask.
I call them Monday and Tuesday, buddy.
Okay.
Like Victoria with them, if I talk to her 7 times in a week, I'd rather talk to her 8. You look up Victoria's numbers and you'll find out why. Most professional agent there ever was, and you won't be able to move her from me, buddy. I'm loyal. I take care of her, man.
Mm-hmm.
She's the best. And she does 60 sides in a year. She does 25, 30 buyer sides in a year. Last year. Those are diamonds. You don't leave diamonds laying around on the countertops, right? Put them in a nice little jewelry box and lock it up, right? Yeah. So, yeah, my agents, I talk to them Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday, and Friday, and text them on Saturday. They still take my calls, right? So I'm going to talk to them about leads, Mike, on Monday, and pre-approvals. I'm going to talk about escrows on Tuesday.
Right. Yeah.
I'll give you another one. On Fridays, I created this builder report. It's 4 pages. First page is leads. Second page is deals, escrows. Third page was first page was leads. Second page was pre-approvals. Third page was escrows, and the 4th page was dead leads. Leads that between me and them we'd given up on. So it was leads, pre-approvals, current escrows, and then dead leads. So like so that a lead, they could never say, well, what happened to Smith? I don't see it on the report anymore. I had to move them to the dead lead pile so they can at least, oh yeah, I remember now. Right? So that once it was on, it never came off. It was just on a different page. I started doing that with agents. They can't live without it once they have it, buddy. On Friday, you send them a 4-page Excel spreadsheet with the leads that they've given you, the current pre-approvals they're working on, current deals you got going, and old leads, old dead leads. The old dead leads we have so they can call them again and maybe try to spark them back up in a year or whatever. Now, I can't do it for people I don't got a lot of business going with, right? So you can't do it for all 40 agents. But once you got it, like on that 5-5-200 plan, the 10 would all get it. Because it's really like you've talked to them on Monday, you've updated them on Tuesday, and you give them something writing on Friday for the weekend. So they don't got to remember nothing. They don't got to write nothing down. You're doing their whole organization. You're doing it for them. They don't got to be organized. They use Jim Reed. That's my thought process. You don't got to be organized. You use me. I'm organized. Just give me a lead and go get us another one. I'll take care of it. Give me a contract. Go get another contract. I got this one. Don't worry. I'll let you know if you need to do anything. That's how I think. More questions? Yes.
It's like Mary and
Jason.
Jason have one.
Okay, we'll do Jason and then Mary. You guys
Hi,
are all
Jim.
listening.
Hi, Jim. I love your sessions. It's really refreshing me. For an oldie like me, it's getting me out to the road and getting to the realtors. I am doing a lot of work with a lot of realtors, and I've got 7 apps, and we all have like TBD approval in the process. But my goal is a little bit more than that. I want to get to the brokers. They don't like me because I'm taking away their loans to, Summit Funding rather than using their in-house lenders. If you give me some coaching points on how to approach brokers or the management, it would be great help.
So boutique realtors don't have in-house lenders. So if you had 6 boutique offices, Jason, and they all had 4 or 5 agents in them, boutique offices like, tiny little office got 1 or 2 superstars, and then 3 or 4 or 5 also rans. You guys know what an also ran is? Something my dad got under my skin when I was a kid. I was a trap guy. I was pretty good at it. And one day my dad's like, "Oh, look, you made the also ran list." I'm like, "What's that?" He goes, first place Bill Smith, second place Todd, also ran Jim Reed. Oh, that pissed me off. It's only first place that matters. Maybe second on a big race. So my point to that story is in each boutique office is 1 or 2 good people. And then there's 3 or 4, right? And so if you had 6 boutique offices, Jason, you'd have a shot at 6 to 12 good agents, which would satisfy your 5-5-200. And the offices that have in-house lender relationships, that broker gets paid. So he don't want you around. So I don't know any advice to give you to where he's gonna want you around other than to go try to be his new in-house lender, which I don't believe in. I could teach you how to be his new in-house lender, but if you want to talk about that for a minute, it's not terrible to be an in-house lender, but you have to remember that it's temporary.
Right.
When you're an in-house lender for a broker or you're the lender for a builder, it's temporary. There's a first day and there's a last day. For sure.
Question,
It's
Jim.
not forever. Okay?
Question on that, Jim.
Yeah.
What do you think the capture rate if a broker has 3 in-house lenders? I just had an appointment yesterday. How much do you think each one of those in-house lenders will capture? And they don't
The highest national reported capture rate of an in-house lender relationship was 22%.
Yeah.
It's usually around 15 to 18%, because the only people that'll use it is the actual broker himself, plus the broker's team, personal team, and then
Yeah.
some of the people who easily follow. But the independent standout agents won't use the in-house relationship just in spite.
So
So if you want to know what to do, Jason, what you do is you look at that that office with the in-house lender, and you pull a report on production on all their agents and go after the top 3, because they're not using the in-house lender, and they'll use you. They're like a teenager. They're like a teenager whose parents tell you, don't date that girl. Well, guess what? That's the girl I'm going to date because they told me not to.
So
They're like that.
I guess is the 15 to 18% spread out amongst the 3?
Yes.
Okay.
They don't get 50. There's none of them have 50%. None of them. None. I don't care what they tell you. None. It's all bull.
Yeah, I believe it.
So, Mary Frank.
Time management, when are you finding is the most effective time to do the consults with your clients versus your realtor appointments?
So I like to do my borrower appointments back to back. If you're an independent loan officer and you have to set up your own files, you need to block out 2 hours for each consultation. It's about an hour with the client and an hour afterwards. And you got to stay in your office. Don't check your voicemail. Don't check you ain't going to do this, but you guys, I'm telling you, it'll change your life. For each appointment, double the amount of time you block on your calendar, and start and finish the whole thing before you move on. What you guys do is run around starting and stopping and never finishing, and that's a very frustrating feeling. To never have finished anything is frustrating, and it piles up on you, and then you spout off like a volcano. So if you block off 2 hours and you spend an hour with the client and then 30 minutes doing the cash credit income, clicking all the buttons, uploading the stuff, making sure it's tight, sending it to processing, moving it to the TBD folder, calling the agent, telling them what's going on, sending the agent the email of the realtor crack. I have this stuff I call realtor crack. It's these 4 pages I send to realtors after a pre-approval. It's the borrower summary page, the cash credit income notes, the missing items list, and a pre-approval letter. You send it to them right after the appointment, all 4 things. It's got everything they'll ever need. They'll never bug you on the weekend. How to write the offer, problems on the file, how we're overcoming them, cash credit income. I send all that to them. You send that to them? I do. I block out the borrower social. The front page of the borrower summary page tells what kind of loan, what loan to value, what debt to income ratio. So if it says 21/23 on the debt to income ratio and the realtors can send me 5 or 10 buyer sides a year, do you think they know what that means? I do. Do you think they got to call me on the weekend to see if they can go $5,000 over our pre-approval letter if they see that? They don't. I do it. You guys won't because you're scared, I'll bet, but I do it. And
Jim,
so
how much do you-
I get all that done. And now that file is completely done. The only thing I have to do now is on Thursdays, call my pre-approval until they make an offer. What I used to do is I'd have a stack of files to finish setting up, and I was going to do them the next morning, Mary. And the next morning I'd get new leads and new contracts, or I'd have a meeting, or I just wouldn't feel like it. And then sometimes a week or 2 would go by before I'd get back to that file to finish setting it up. And sometimes I'd look at it, Mary, and I'd be like, oh my God, I can't get these people alone. What the hell was I thinking? That's happened to me. And then I had to go back and review everything and even call them and ask them a couple questions again. Oh, yeah. Now I know what we're doing. Okay, sorry. And get my stuff together and send it in. Well, how much time did that waste?
Yeah.
People say, I don't have enough time to do that long for the pre-approval. Yeah, you do. You're taking longer now. You're just chopping it up. Do it all at one time. That's my advice. So I take my appointments on Mondays. I did Mondays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays. So 2, and 2, and then 1 on Saturday morning. So 2 and 4, 2 and 4, 2 and 4, and then 10 o'clock on Saturdays. That's how I do it. Or it's Fridays, not Saturdays, Friday mornings, 10 o'clock on Friday mornings. So I do consultations in the afternoon. I do realtor appointments on Friday afternoons and on Tuesdays. That's when I go see the offices and do my milk route. I do my updates, then I leave the office and I'm out doing milk route, go see the 6 boutique offices. So I called all my deals. I get in my car, I go see my 6 offices on Tuesday. Mondays, I do all my management. We do our pipeline meeting in the morning on Monday, branch meetings on Monday, and then 2 or 3 appointments, borrower appointments on Monday afternoon. And then Tuesday, I do Tuesday updates and then milk route. And then Wednesdays, I'm in the office in the morning. I have an hour to work on broken loans. I swear I have an hour every week to work on broken loans. So when a loan of mine breaks, I don't touch it until that Wednesday morning. You know what happens half the time?
Fixes itself.
Somebody else fixes it. Cracks me up. I never even worried about it. I was gonna, and then it got fixed. Cracks me up. So then I have the 1 hour to work on that, and then I have 3 appointments in that afternoon, and then Friday I got 1 appointment, and then I hang out with realtors Friday afternoon, usually golf, if I can't help it. And if, when it comes to management meetings, you got to get those done in blocks. You can't have like one every day, Blake. Got to pick a day, get those things done in a morning time frame, and then, like for the way I run my team, my processors, my loan partners is they have to submit 1 new loan by 10 a.m. every day. They would submit 20 loans a month. 1 new loan by 10 a.m. every day. And resubmit 1 loan by the end of the day. But if they wait till the afternoon to submit a loan, what happens?
Get behind, don't get it done.
They don't ever get to it because there's problems. They're the ones that fixed that loan that I never got to. When did they do it? In the afternoon of the day it got broken. So I have to teach them that their mornings are the valuable time for turning in files. So when I first did it, they all bucked at me and told me it was crazy. But they got to submit 1 new loan by 10 a.m. every day. Loan partner 2 direct submits and loan processors. In the morning is when they can get the work done. Now, when we get really busy, like right now it's getting really busy with new leads, and you start to feel behind, come to work 2 days a week at 6 a.m. For now, not forever. Do it for 2 weeks in a row. You'll work for 2.5 hours uninterrupted, and you will catch up on everything in 1 or 2 weeks. And then you will feel back in the saddle. But if you keep meaning to get to that stuff in the afternoon, you'll never get to it because there's a whole new load of problems that pile up. You got to come to the office when you start to feel overwhelmed. You got to get. I've come to office at 4 a.m. before.
Yeah.
Work for 4 or 5 hours without anybody talking to me. Everything's done. All the files are organized and delegated to the next person. All that emails got gone through and responded to, and everybody's off my back. Whew. I got to do that once in a while. Oh, what about work-life balance? Well, no paycheck sucks. That ain't balance either.
Hey, Jim.
Yes, sir.
Can you hit the 4 things that you send to the agents? I got the borrower summary page and the prequal letter. Did you say you sent a missing items list or a needs list?
Yeah, I said the missing items. Like during a consultation, I have a missing items list form.
Okay.
And I fill it out with the borrower, and I put everything on there that they possibly could need, and I send it to the realtor that day.
Okay.
So what can the borrower never say to the realtor with me?
You didn't tell them.
Yep. Never.
Yeah. And then credit.
Oh, yes, he
income
did.
notes?
Yes, he did. I got the email right here. You didn't get a copy of this missing items list from the first day, the one that you signed on the bottom? You didn't get that? I have them sign everything, buddy. When my borrower's in a loan consultation, they sign the IRLA. If there's not a place for them to sign it, I still have them sign it on the bottom of each page. The IRLA, itemized fee sheet, and the ASAP forms, which are the Social Security validation, the 4506, and the borrower signature authorization. Every pre-approval signs all of those every time. So if I do a video appointment, I say, hey, I'm going to email you 5 things to sign. I need you to sign and send it back. And then I put it on my calendar, follow up the next day to see if they did it. If they don't do it, I call and bug them for it. Yes, I do. Because if they don't sign it, what's it saying? What's it saying?
Never signed anything.
No, it's saying that they're not using me.
No
You get it?
commitment.
They're not using me. They're
Yeah,
not
there's no
signing because they're
commitment.
not using me.
Mm-hmm.
I want to know that sooner than later. You guys want to make it easy and kick it down the road, kick the commitment down the road to the last second. And then you wonder why you get shopped so much. Not getting shopped is a bunch of little things added up to being a big thing. Not getting shopped is like taxes. Taxes, to save taxes, you save a little here, a little there, a little there, a little there, and you add it all up, and it's a lot. It's not one thing to save taxes. To not get shopped is make them sign, make them meet you in person, do a professional presentation, make them sign stuff, submit their loan to underwriting when you have to. Stay in touch on Thursday TBD calls. Send them the Rent versus Now thing I just taught you. Send it to them. Talk to them about what their fears are. Get a credit card as soon as they get a contract. I need your credit card right now. Oh, right now. I need your credit card number because I got to order the appraisal right now or it won't get here in time. Give me your credit card. Okay. No, I don't want to give you my credit card. What's that saying? They're not using you. So I test them all the way, man. That's a relationship. Anything given for free has what kind of value?
Nothing.
0. If you don't sign nothing, how valuable are you?
Not
0. You guys make pre-approval easy. Oh, you're so well qualified. Oh my gosh, your credit is so good. Look at your income. I've never seen such high income. You know what I say? Is that all you got? You think I'm kidding? I said, there's got to be more. You got more, right? Oh, no. Oh, okay. Well, we'll see if we can make it work. You guys think I'm nuts. You do, Blake. You think I'm full of crap. You don't think I say that.
I believe you.
I say it exactly like that.
And then, Jim, the fourth one was credit income notes.
The CCI, yes, sir.
Okay.
My CCI is how to write the offer. So that'd be like split escrow or a seller credit or the number of days, like how to write the offer for the agent. Mm-hmm. Conventional, 20% down, 21-day close is fine. Split escrow and title. I have a borrower give me permission to share asset validation when you make an offer. Notes on how to write the offer right up top in big font. And then the story of the loan. Like, so this is stuff I give. I also give the same thing to my processor and to my underwriter. The story of the loan, cash, where it's coming from, credit, like my story on credit. Good credit, no problems, no debt to pay off. Income, how I calculated their income. I did a 2-year average plus year to date. Because they get overtime, I did the worst case scenario of the 2-year average or the 1-year average. I write that. Yes, I send it to the agents. I do.
Perfect.
20 years, never been in trouble for it. People are looking for leadership or passiveness. Which one are they looking for?
Leadership.
Leadership.
In this market, what do they want? You to be a leader or you to be a scaredy cat?
Leader.
Leader.
Be one. This is how it works, Mike. Rebecca's going to call you. She's going to set an appointment for you to come in person. We find that when our borrowers come in person, their experience is 10 times better. They get all their questions answered at one time with both spouses there, instead of me telling you and then you telling your wife later.
Yeah, no
Tell them
reason
why
to
it's
say.
important for them to come in. It's free. You leave pre-approved. You get all your questions answered at one time. I guarantee your payment and your cash to close. I guarantee it. Why wouldn't they come in? There's only one reason. What is it?
They're going somewhere else.
That's right. Might as well know now, buddy.
They're not real.
The good, the bad, and the ugly. You got 9 leads. 3 use you for information and don't trust you. 3 are fun but hopeless and will never buy a house. And 3 are going to buy a house with you. I want to get to the 3 fast. Those are facts, guys. 27 years of facts. So if you want more deals, you need more leads. You need to get good at conversion because you need to be at 35%. If you're not at 35%, you got a problem with conversion. If you're at 35% or higher, you got a problem with not enough leads. So what's your problem? Not enough leads or conversion? Yes, Mr. Massa.
Can you clarify on the 35%? Is that lead to close, lead to credit?
Lead to close
lead
is
to app?
22%. Lead to close is 22%. I've tracked it. I've tracked it. I've tracked it. People who say they're better than that don't count all their leads. Oh, well, we didn't put that lead on there because they never call us back. I said, well, did the agent give you their name and number? Yeah. Was it a lead? Yeah. How many times you call them? Once. That's a lead. Well, they never call us back. It's a lead. Now, a prospect is when the agent gives you a list of people interested in Zillow that no one ever talked to. Those are not leads. Okay? Don't count those as leads. Those are prospects. Those become leads once they'll meet with you in person. Now it's a lead. But it's a prospect until then. Now, if the agent talks to them, right, and the agent warms them up and builds rapport, shows them a property, and then refers them to you, then that's a lead. But if the agent just takes their contact information and gives it to you because they're too busy to call them, it's a cold call. It's a prospect. That don't count. If you count every single lead, I tracked it with me, Josh Sigmund, Lisa Wells, Hunter Marquardt, JJ Mazzo, Robbie Sampson. One more. Jane Floyd. We were all within 1% of each other for conversion rate on pre-approvals and closings. And that's
So
like
the
five different states.
So is the 35% lead to application?
Pre-approval.
Okay.
Not credit pull. Whoever came up with that's a knucklehead. I'll actually know who came up with it, and I don't want to throw his name under the bus. The game ain't pull their credit. The game is meet them in person. I told you what to do every day of the week. I told you who to chase and who not to chase. I taught you how to make Monday realtor calls. I taught you how to do Tuesday calls, Wednesday calls, Thursday calls. I taught you how to text on Saturday. I taught you to join 2 organizations and be the secretary so you can call all the realtors. I taught you to call on boutiques and not on big offices. If you run my play, you will do well. You will. If you fill up a greatness tracker with the tactics I just gave you every week, like if you go see 6 offices every week, Blake, will you get your face-to-faces in?
Yep.
If you meet all your clients in person, will you get your face-to-faces in?
Yep.
If you do Monday calls, Tuesday calls, Wednesday calls, and Thursday calls, will you get your conversations in?
No problem.
If you do my leveraged event once a month that I do for free for you guys and organize it and send out a list on what to send, when to send, how to send it, what to say, and you participate in our leveraged event, will you get your leveraged event done?
Yep.
It's impossible not to fill up your greatness tracker if you're in next level coaching and you just do what I ask. Impossible. And it's impossible to have a full greatness tracker and not do at least 3 or 4 closings a month. It's impossible. It's not improbable. It's impossible.
Possible.
If you are rude and you are not personable and people don't like you very much, you'll still get your 3. Now, if you take what I taught you and you learn how to be charming and you learn how to have a diverse personality where you can bond with the engineer, bond with the farmer, bond with the teacher, bond with the politician, bond with the stay-at-home dad, bond with the stay-at-home mom. If you can be a chameleon, whoo, now you're going to do a lot of business. You guys want to learn how to do that? You sure? A lot of you are going to say, well, that feels phony to me. So accommodating someone and adapting to their personality style is phony to you, fine. It's not phony to me. It's accommodating. So the first thing you have to do is agreement. You should write these down. Number 1, find agreement. This is how you build rapport. You give some honor, and then you seek agreement. Something to agree about. You could agree Trump's a ding-dong. You could agree Trump's the answer. You could agree Biden's a ding-dong. You could agree Biden's the answer. You could agree the aliens are around. You could agree whatever. Find something to agree about. The second thing you do is mimic and mirror. Mimic and mirror. So you have to mimic their body language. If they have their hands crossed and they lean forward, you have your hands crossed and you lean forward. If they lean back, you lean back. If they sit upright, you sit upright. You mimic and mirror them. You copy their pace in their language, how fast their decibel count is, how long they elaborate, or how short and bullet point they are. You mimic and mirror until you see their shoulders go down. You'll see it. You'll see it. They take a big breath and their shoulders go down. That means they're no longer on high alert. Okay? They're open. Mimic and mirror until you see their shoulders go down. Now you can pace and lead. Now they'll listen to me. I can set a different pace if I want, and I can lead them. The last thing you do is you uncover. So I can't uncover too soon, but I uncover. So uncover sounds like Blake. I would, like if Blake's frustrated being at Summit, I would say, Blake, after I've done those things and he feels like we're in unison, it's not fake. What I'm teaching you is not fake. I guess it could be used for evil, but it's not fake. And then I say, what's really the problem? Like, what are the top 2 problems for real? After when you really think about it, and he might tell me, and I would write them down in front of him. And then I'd go back to the first one, and I would ask him why. What would be different if it was fixed? Why does it bother you so much? Why? Why? I would dig in so far, and I'd keep asking why so many times that it would start to feel uncomfortable. And then he would tell me the truth. And then we could see if we can solve it. But in the beginning, the borrower's objection is going to be a fake one to protect themselves against you. Okay? It's a fake one. Just like you give fake ones. And then you keep digging in as to why. And Todd teaches 3 whys, but I've seen it in action and I do it every day. It's more like 7 or 8. Till you really get to the problem. Because once they will admit the real challenge, the objection, the whatever, there is no relationship. And if there is no relationship, there is no sale. Which is why you got to meet people in person. You can't mimic and mirror them over the phone. You can't mimic and mirror them by video that well. You can, it's better, but it's not as good. You don't get the subtle lean back on the video that you get when you're seeing them forward. Like, you know when you say something and they lean back, but that's not good. Y'all know that, right? So if you can copy those things, those 4 or 5 steps I just gave you for building rapport, and then dig deep, then you're a true consultant. I'm not going to tell when like if the borrower's problem is they just have to have the lowest rate. They just have to have it. They've got to believe that I gave them the lowest rate anybody could get on that day in the whole country. I could then choose to tell them, man, no problem. I'm not your guy. Because no one can guarantee that. And whoever says they can is lying just to get your business, and I'm not willing to do that. Vinny, choose me. You get it? You can copy that from me, y'all. That one took a long time to learn. Yes, let's see. Lisa.
I've been wanting to ask you, why is
Uh-oh.
it that March 15th is such a target date for you?
27 years of living through March 15th. I'm not a book smart guy. I'm a real life guy, and I've been scared about the market in December, January, and February. And every March 15th, I've gotten so busy that I need to hire people. I pay attention to hire dates of 27 years of growing my branch. March 15th, baby. You watch. You'll call me and say, dang it, how'd you know?
I will.
27
Thank you.
years. 27 years. 27 years of running a branch. I grew my branch by promoting people to ops in the summer because we were too busy, and then recruiting loan officers in the winter so I didn't have to lay people off. And then growing ops in the summer because we were too busy again, and then recruiting loan officers in the winter because I didn't want to lay people off. And then growing ops in the summer again, and then it started with 6, and now it's 24. I don't grow fast. I don't steal people from other companies. I grow people. And that's how come I know that's what's going to happen. I've also been through 3 major downturns, and I've studied it. Downturns are 2 years. Upturns are 7 to 10 years. So we're about a year, maybe a little more, but not really a year in. So it ain't over, but it's going to get better March 15th, and here's why. There are less loan officers in the business today than there were yesterday. And you can say that about every single day for the last 3 months. Okay? There are less loan officers today than there were yesterday. I promise you. Nationally. There are. And there's a lot less today than there was 2 months ago. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So there's not going to be a tremendous amount of business March 15th, but there is a tremendous amount of less loan officers. So it's going to feel like more business. It's going to be easier than it could have been. You'll see. Good question. Who's up? Mr. Massa?
Yeah, I've been in consultations with a lot of couples who are like polar opposites. So in a situation like that, how do you choose who to mimic and mirror?
So if you're in a loan app, I'm just going to be real with y'all. You're a handsome man. If you're in a loan app with a man and a woman, who should you talk to?
Man.
The man.
The one
Good
that makes
boy.
the decisions? Oh no.
No, the man.
The man.
At first, you talk to the man. It's respectful. If you're a woman, you talk to the woman. It's respectful. You're giving the other woman respect. Then after she has trusted you through body language, you can talk to both. But in the beginning, that's what you do. Now, if you don't agree with it, do it your way, and I'll just do more loans. People say, oh, find the decision maker and talk to them. That's not rapport at all. That's slighting someone. I don't do it that way. I talk to both of them, but most of my attention's on the dude. I'll look to her for a second, and I'll go back to the dude. And then I'll look in the middle and go like that. See this? Do that.
Cool.
That means
Thank
I'm
you.
talking to both of them. If I do this, I'm talking to him. If I do that, I'm talking to her. If I do that, I'm talking to both of them. Like, I don't know. You just have to trust me on that. I'm not going to elaborate. Good question. More questions? Nope. Cool.
like Mary has
we
one.
got 3 more. Mary, I'll do a couple more and then we're going to wrap this up. Mary, go ahead.
Flores, right?
I didn't mean to do
Mary-
that. I clicked in the wrong place.
Oh, you didn't mean Flores. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so how do you deal, going to agents, how do you deal with agents that want to scrub files before they give them to you? So I've had a few situations already with 2 agents where they want to be the middleman and they want to collect documents from my client and kind of analyze them before handing them over. So I feel like there's always that third person in the middle.
Yeah. So you would do a meeting with them, not about this, but it would come up. You would do a meeting with them, but not about this, but it would come up. Do you understand? Find a meeting with them about something else, but then let this come up. After you've taken care of whatever else you were going to do and you're in high rapport with them. So you got to be able to tell if you're in high rapport with them or not during that meeting. High rapport is smiles, laughter. Like I like to make people laugh in the meeting. If they're laughing, it lowers their defenses. So make sure you're in high rapport with them. And then you say something like, so, I've been doing this however long you've been doing it. And for a lot of my agents, we do it this way. And then, but I know with you, it's that, it seems like you really like to be more involved, especially when it comes to like collecting the documents and stuff. Is that true? Now say yes. Yeah. And then you say, where did you did you have like a mentor or anything? How'd you come around to be that way? I think it's like sometimes it's pretty cool. I don't really understand it though. I want to make sure I understand it so I can take care of you. Oh yeah, my mentor told me I have to do that because then the borrowers will feel more connected to me and I'll get more referrals for it later. Oh. How does that work? Like why do you think that? Well, because if they see that I'm protecting them, then they're more loyal to me. Well, why is that? Why is that so important to you? Say, well, because I don't want to do anything else. I want to do this and I want to build more business from the business I already have. Well, why? Well, so I don't have to do advertising and spend money. Well, why? What do you mean why? Because I don't want to spend any money. Why? Well, I want to make as much money as I can. Why? What do you mean why? So I can retire. Oh, cool. So they're collecting conditions because they want to be able to retire someday. That sounds like a pretty good reason to me. Right?
No.
And say, okay, well, what could we do that would make it easier for you and better for you? If that's what you want to do, what can I do to make it easier and better for you? Because now you have to decide if you want to be with them or not, because they just said they're doing it so they can retire. So if you tell them that they're wrong, when they know they're right, you're doing it too early. Maybe over time, once she realizes how good you are, she will not have to do that. But right now, that person's not budging. So don't make them budge. Then maybe it's like this. Hey, how about we do the consultations together? We'll do them by video. Me and the client in my office will have you by video. That way you can see the missing items list. And then we could do it 3 ways. Like we'll do 3-way text gathering and 3-way email gathering. That way you're still in part of it and you can protect them. But I could be more involved in the clarification of the documentation so I don't make anybody look bad. My biggest fear is I don't want to make it look like you didn't understand what I asked for or I wasn't clear enough so that I can make you look good so you can get more business from your database so you can retire sooner.
Okay.
Because I repeated back to them. Because I repeated.
I've been getting that from.
Because I repeated back to her what she said, she will feel like I listened, which over time she will build trust and maybe someday she'll let me collect.
Okay.
I have a realtor that I've been using since my first day in the business. His name's Ray Dare. You can look up his numbers. Ray Dare and his wife's name is Sandra Dare now. It used to be Sandra Coverseer. They do a lot of buyers. And he comes to all the consultations and he likes to be part of everything. And it's okay. As long as him and I communicate in a way that doesn't make the borrower feel like we're not in communication. Like you're worried, like you have an assistant who will collect docs for you. As long as you manage it properly, it's not a terrible thing. That's my opinion. I feel like I cut you off. Did you have more you wanted to ask?
No, I was just saying I usually deal with this with realtors that have worked with brokers or in-house lenders. And I think brokers have a different way of working than us, possibly.
When you say work with brokers, you mean loan officers that are brokers or realtors that are brokers?
Yes, loan officers that are brokers. So the expectation for the realtor with a broker, from what I've asked, is that the realtor collects everything and only sends the file if they think it's a good lead.
I think if we asked everybody that, I don't think that that's a normal thing.
Yeah, it's not, and that's what I was.
But I don't think,
Well,
what I'm
now
saying
I'm
is,
having.
no, what I'm saying to you is I don't think it's because they work with a loan officer that's a broker. I think it's because that they're on the realtor, it's who the realtor is. I don't think it's that. What I'm saying to you is, what you said is, oh, when a realtor works with a loan officer that's a broker, the realtor has to do more. That's not true.
Okay.
That part's not, that's not the problem. Does anybody disagree with me?
No.
Okay.
No, I just think it's a control issue that the actual agent has.
Yeah, that's okay. Hey, dude, call me the janitor. Just write me a big check, y'all. I could care less how they want to do business. I'll accommodate. If they want to do business, let's do business. I don't want to be right. I don't want to be wrong. I want to be paid. All right. Is that it?
Thank you.
Let's
Thank
wrap
you,
it up,
Jim.
guys. Thanks so much for today. I'll see you later. Bye.
We appreciate it. Hey guys, really quick, thank you so much for spending the 6 hours with us this week. We really appreciate the inaugural kickoff of Advanced Boot Camp. So we're going to be shooting you guys over in Summit University a survey. If you could just take 2 to 3 minutes, that's all it should even take you. If you can just take that so we can get some feedback on our first one and move forward to the next. Thank you again very, very much. It's much appreciated. Have a great weekend.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks,
Bye,
Michelle.
guys. Thank you.